Hi students, I'm your tutor Vanaja KS from Government First Grade College Kunigal. In this video, we shall learn the lesson The Story of My Life written by Helen Keller. It's an introductory part and the session number is 4. Helen Keller, she was a famous lady who became deaf, dumb and blind due to an illness at the early age of 2, and she got completely isolated from the world. Helen Adams Keller was an American author, disability rights advocate, political activist, and lecturer. She was born on 27 June 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama, in a white frame cottage called Avy Green. She was the daughter of Arthur Henley Keller and Catherine Everett Keller. She had 4 siblings. Keller's father worked for many years as an editor of the Tuscumbia North Alabamian. He had served as a captain in the Confederate Army. In 1882, at 19 months of age, Keller contracted an unknown illness described by doctors as an acute congestion of the stomach and the brain. The illness left Keller both deaf and blind. She lived, as she recalled in her autobiography, at sea in a dense fog. As Keller grew from infancy into childhood, she became wild and unruly. In 1886, Keller's mother, inspired by an account in Charles Dickens' American Notes of the successful education of Laura Bridgman, a deaf and blind woman, dispatched young Keller and her father to consult physician J. Julian Chisholm, an eye, ear, nose, and throat specialist in Baltimore, for advice. Chisholm referred the Kellers to Alexander Graham Bell, who was working with deaf children at the time. Bell advised them to contact the Perkins Institute for the Blind, the school where Bridgman had been educated. It was then located in South Boston. Michael Anagnos, the school director, asked Anne Sullivan, a 20-year-old alumna of the school who was visually impaired, to become Keller's instructor. It was the beginning of a nearly 50-year-long relationship. Sullivan developed as Keller's governess and later her companion. Sullivan arrived at Keller's house on March 5th, 1887, a day Keller forever remember as my soul's birthday. Sullivan immediately began to teach Helen to communicate by spelling words into a hand, beginning with doll for the doll she had brought Keller as a present. By age 9, Keller began to learn to speak and read lips, and skills she continued to develop throughout her lifetime. Keller lived a purposeful, fulfilling, happy life, and she did so against all odds. The story of how Anne Sullivan engaged with Helen Keller and taught her to communicate is portrayed beautifully in the 1962 film The Miracle Worker. At age 22, Keller published her autobiography, The Story of My Life, in the year 1903 with the help from Sullivan and Sullivan's husband, John Macy. It recounts the story of her life up to age 21 and was written during her time in college. She remains influential and respected even after her death. Her name appeared on the 1999 issue of Time magazine's list of the 100 most important figures of the 20th century. The story of my life is based on the value of perseverance. It also glorifies the tireless and undying spirit of overcoming the hurdles and obstacles in life. Due to sheer perseverance, a deaf and dumb child, Helen Keller learned to communicate and interact with the outer world in a meaningful way. She was the first person with a deaf and blindness to earn a bachelor's degree from Radcliffe in 1904. She was a great friend of Mark Twain. She was extremely political. In addition to being a member of the Socialist Party, Keller was a founder of the American Civil Liberties Union. Keller was an outspoken advocate for women's rights and a strong supporter of birth control. These were all pretty radical views for a woman in the early 20th century. Keller wrote a total of 12 published books and several articles. Helen Keller died on 1st June 1968 at the age of 87 in America. I hope you have understood the introductory part of the lesson. In the next video, we shall learn more about the story of my life of Helen Keller. Thank you all.